Welcome to this episode. My name is Lisa, the founder of NolaWorks. This series will discuss all things concerning modern work life, entrepreneurship and global mobility. Today we will discuss EU Inc. Imagine starting a company in Europe in under 48 hours for only €100 with no startup capital at all. That's the promise behind one of the EU's boldest legal proposals yet. Let's break it down. In March 2026, the European Commission proposed something genuinely new, a single company structure that works the same way across every EU country. It's called EU Inc. And it is the cornerstone, something bigger, the so-called 28 regime. Right now, businesses in the EU operate under 27 different national legal systems and more than 60 different company forms. EU Inc. would add a new layer to the 28 regime, one harmonized EU-wide framework that any founder can choose instead. Today, expanding a company across EU borders can take weeks, sometimes months, just to navigate the legal maze. That complexity slows growth, raises costs, and pushes some founders to look outside Europe altogether. EU Inc. is designed to fix that, keeping ambitious companies in Europe instead of losing them elsewhere. Let's go through the key features. This is where it gets practical. First, speed. Companies could register in 48 hours for €100 with no minimum capital. Second, simplicity. One submission of company information connected across national registers, eventually feeding into a single EU-level register. Third, everything digital, from setup to day-to-day operations. Fourth, easier exits. If a startup doesn't work out, EU Inc. offers simplified digital liquidation, so founders can close down and try again faster. Fifth, better access to investment. Fewer in-person formalities, simpler share transfers, and in some member states, even stock exchange access. And finally, a tool to attract talent. EU-wide employee stock option plans, taxed only once the shares are actually sold. Here's an important detail. Companies can choose which EU country to register in, regardless of where they actually operate. The Commission says strong safeguards are built in. National employment and social laws still apply, just like for any other company. Yet critics worry about letting companies freely choose their registration country. If a company can register wherever labor rules are weakest, does that put workers' protections at risk? There are also concerns about oversight. Fast registration and lighter checks could make it easier for non-compliant businesses to gain an unfair edge on taxes, on social contributions, on compliance generally. Some commentators are calling for the proposal to be reassessed. A few are even calling for it to be withdrawn entirely. And then there's a quieter, more practical question. Will businesses actually choose EU Inc. at all? Even the best legal framework only matters if companies adopt it. If interest turns out to be limited, the impact could fall well short of expectations. So, where are we now? The proposal is currently being discussed by the European Parliament and the Council. In April 2026, EU institutions committed to a joint roadmap aiming for agreement on EU ink by the end of 2026, an ambitious timeline by EU standards. But let's hope for the best. For founders and investors moving across borders, EU ink could fundamentally change how and where companies choose to set up shop in Europe. At NolaWorks, we'll be watching closely as this proposal develops. In our next episode, we will go through the categories of worker mobility. See you soon. Thanks for watching.